New knights riding their chargers into town in the quest to rid the country of its albatross of insecurity. The reception is warm, the expectation high, and the marching order is uncomplicated. Readers of the outlaws, the new helmsmen of the nation's fighting forces, come with the pedigree for the confrontation ahead. What stakeholders want, however, is for them to hit the ground running. We shall discuss the nation's war against terror and the litmus test ahead. Also on Political Update today, Petroleum Industry Bill and the Fists of Fury in the House of Representatives, plus the economic imperatives of 2021. I am Fisayo Ogunfui. Welcome. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde was at the State House this week. His visit is not unconnected with the security concerns in his state. The governor, however, used the opportunity to make a case for the increased federal government presence in his state in terms of infrastructure and other interventions which will enhance the condition of living in the state.
There's been a lot of fake news all around, so I wanted to be sure that Mr. President clearly have a first-hand information, from myself, which I did, and we also exchanged ideas about what we need to do better. Some of the programs that we have put in place to ensure that this security issue is tackled. I requested for more mobile police squadron to be deployed to Oyo State, and also our joint security outfit. We ask for support for them because the underlying issue here also has to do with limited opportunities. The tension will definitely go down if a lot of our youth are gainfully employed.
President Muhammadu Buhari has formally charged the newly appointed service chiefs to be patriotic in the discharge of their responsibilities. The president gave the charge during his first meeting with the military top brass after their appointment.
With history, the newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Lucky Irabo, and the service chiefs arrived Nigeria's seat of government to meet the Commander-in-Chief of the nation's armed forces, President Muhammadu Buhari. Both the CDS, the Army Chief, Major General Ibrahim Attahiru, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo of the Navy, and Air Vice Marshal I.O. Amau of the Air Force were appointed to succeed the former service chiefs barely 24 hours ago. It was an opportunity for President Muhammadu Buhari to formally congratulate the new helmsmen of the various services of the armed forces on their well-deserved appointment. He, however, said there is nothing he can tell them regarding the service and indeed the task ahead, but rather offer his prayers and assurances that everything will be done within his power to support the execution of their mandates so that Nigerians will appreciate their efforts. As he puts it during the closed-door meeting, you know the stage we were in 2015. You know the stage we are now, and the undertakings we made to secure the country, revive the economy, and fight corruption. None has been easy, but we have certainly made progress. Defense Minister Bashir Magashi, who led the new appointees to the meeting, gives further details on the presidential marching order.
The President has reiterated that these new service chiefs should have no other commitment but to see the end of this insurgency, banditry, and other things. And he is fully prepared to give them all the support necessary to enable them to perform the job effectively. And he insists of them that they should select leaders who are courageous, who can do this job in order to bring an end to this war.
Speaking to NTA News on behalf of the new service chiefs, Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Lucky Irabo, said unequivocally that they are indeed very mindful of the demands.
can only at this stage pledge to do the utmost best to bring security, safety and security to lives and properties across the country. On behalf of the service chiefs, I'm assuring the nation security, peace and security. We believe that there will be value that will be added to the security disposition of the nation. The message for the President is that we, knowing the current security environment, must do everything possible to add value to the security disposition, and that the expectations are high, and we're quite mindful of that expectation. So we collectively will work to achieve that.
New strategies in the renewed battle against terrorism, insurgency, and other acts of criminality undermining national security and territorial integrity will be unveiled by the new service chiefs individually and collectively in days and weeks to come.
Now, the war has reached high degrees, but the new men have the pedigree. In a protracted war against outlaws, apparitions without form or address, melting into the forests or hinterlands with the same stealth with which they strike unsuspecting settlements, Nigerians have words of encouragement and expectation for the new sheriffs.
Formidable on land, sea and in the air, the armed forces of Nigeria has continued to evolve new strategies to combat insurgency in the northeast and other acts of terror which have killed and displaced thousands for more than a decade. Now, all eyes are on the new service chiefs who are expected to shake up the table and inject new ideas as Nigerians continue to react to their appointments. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Lucky Irabo, charged with attaining the highest standards of national security and operational competence of the armed forces of Nigeria, already seems to be a fan favorite. The one-time force commander of the multinational Joint Task Force is passionate about ending the more than decades.
All right. To ensure wealth and stability in any nation, security is key. The security architecture in terms of intelligence, fighting forces, and the enforcement of law and order. Joining us today is Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas, representing Jade, Ganye, Mayobelwa, and Tongo Federal Constituency of Adamawa State. He is pertinently the Chairman House Committee on the Army. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And let's ask you, what are your first impressions of the new service chiefs?
Well, for me, I think I'm very, very confident and happy that these choices were made. If you look at the service chiefs, most of them, if not all of them, have participated seriously in the war against insurgency and terrorism in the northeast and banditry in the northwest and what have you. The Chief of Defense Staff, the CDS, was Commander Operation Lafayette Dole at one point in time. And the Chief of Army Staff also commanded Operation Lafayette Dole also. So they are already involved in the fight. And now that they are the helmsmen, having looked at what their predecessor did, I know they need to fine-tune an attempt so that they can sanitize and see how they can be able to make forward. I think for me, if I'm to advise them, I think we should take war to the terror. We should not wait until they come. Let's pursue these people wherever they are. Or, you know, the situation where sometimes you wait until the boss get a hold of you. They also have their own intelligence. The Boko boys have their own intelligence. And that's why sometimes you get ambushed. When you are ambushed, that means you are unaware. And you can see, so let us not wait in one place and see that we should not wait for an ambush. We should rather be ambushing Boko Haram boys and the bandits around the area. And I am confident that they will be able to live up to expectation.
As Chairman House Committee on the Army, you've seen different submissions. They've come to you, perhaps in terms of, when they are doing, budget defense and all that. In all that, would you say we are winning the war against that?
I think I wouldn't say we have won, but I would say we have done our best. They've tried. Even the predecessors have tried their best. But, we need to do more. We need to do more. The National Assembly, for instance, have supported the entire security sector in terms of funding, so that they can be able to buy equipment to pursue, to be able to ready to fight, to prosecute the war. We have done our best. But I think what I see that is very critical and important, especially for the commanders, is that it's not good to keep a soldier in a war for over 5 years or 6 years in one place. It can be really very, very discomforting. Psychologically, it can't be well. They have families. They need also, apart from that, you need once in a while to also take yourself off the heat. And then when you are down, you are cool, you can strategize and come back. So sometimes you find some of the soldiers say, look, I am seeking for deployment, take me out of Maiduguri, out of pressure. So if we can make it, as the law says, 2 years, 6 months, 1 year, at least recycling them so that at least they can refresh themselves and then go back. But if you keep...
That's why they call it a tour.
Yes.
It's supposed to be semi-permanent.
Yes, don't let it be too permanent. Sometimes you can see they have this complaint that, look, I have not seen my family for over 2 years. And I know that you have sacrificed yourself for the nation. The leadership of the army should know that they have done that. But let us be very careful with how long they stay. And more importantly, again, is welfare. You know, we need to also boost their morale by giving them the welfare. Sometimes even when a soldier has money, he cannot even spend it because he is in the bush. But at least he should know that his family is comfortable. So that in the event that he even dies, his children can be taken good care of, their education and what have you. Once you know that these things are put down, of course, they are still doing it. But I think more need to be done. Because you have to make them committed and very serious. And the only way they can put their life and be committed is that, look, they have the welfare. And we have been voting for that in the budget, and we have done our own part.
It seems as if Nigerian youth still want to be a part of this fight because just recently when the recruitment exercise was going on, we saw that especially the army was oversubscribed.
Well, I think for me, there was a time I had an investigation. I laid a report before the House of Representatives when we investigated the fight in Auno in Borno State. We came to the conclusion that, look, army is short of personnel. That's just the truth. We don't have enough personnel. It's not for me to state the number on national television, but I tell you that they are short of personnel. We need more numbers. And you can see, even if we recommended that 100,000 more soldiers should be enlisted. I know that it has some financial obligation, but which one will you take first? Is it the financial obligation or the life of Nigerians? Which one comes first? We need to give them, because you can imagine that people are dying, yet our boys are committed. But even when they get to recruitment centers, you see some of them say they are not qualified, their height is this, they look at medical challenges, they look at your physical check. There are a lot of hindrances, and some of them still come back to us, look, we have been asked to go. But the most important thing that I keep asking as a layman, because I'm not a personnel, I once asked one of the senior army officers, I said, look, are Boko Haram trained? Do they have all the physical checkup? Do they need to get medical clearance before they join Boko Haram? Yet they do a lot of havoc. So, but it is a matter of mindset. So, but you know, they cannot also go and recruit because of the rules of engagement. The army is not also allowed to just pick anybody on the street. I think we need to employ more of these boys.
Interesting, observations there. But what else can we be doing differently?
I think the only way is that, for example, now the service chiefs, let them review the strategy. What is it that has not worked over time? Why is it that now that you are in charge? Because even when those people are in charge and no self-criticism, somebody will have said, look, in the army you cannot challenge your superior. But say, if I were the one, I will have handled it this way. Now you are in charge. Please come and tell us what you have. There's one strategy in the army that is called super calm. This is an invention of the past chief of army staff, and to me it's also good. But that's not wrong. Even when there is a good policy in place, can't you review it and see whether it suits the present situation? This super calm is, for example, all the soldiers are on wheels on their vehicles. They are stationed here. In the event there's a problem here, they will rush there. In the event that's here, they rush here. But what are the advantages associated to this? What are the disadvantages? For whatever strategy you come out with, you look at the disadvantage. I think they should review some of those things.
Okay, moving on. So many interesting things. Perhaps we'll still have another opportunity to speak with you on some of these things. But while we're going on, perhaps even the army can recruit from some of these guys, because this week, the public hearing on petroleum industry bill at the House of Representatives featured some fisticuffs following disagreement between some representatives of host communities producing oil and gas in Nigeria. When a group was called to submit its memoranda, a fight broke out amongst the members, and security agents had to intervene to restore order.
what we are agitating for is 10% equity. What I fight was there is because of 10% equity.
It's a sensitive issue. They really want, everybody wants to be heard as far as this PIB is concerned. But I could see some very fit guys there, even for the army. But moving on very quickly, the leader of the People's Democratic Party from Kogi East, Friday Makama, has this week led the supporters to defect to the All Progressive Congress. Chairman APC caretaker and Convention Planning Committee, Maimala Buni, received them and assured of equal opportunity for all within the party.
Desire for me to join the All Progressive Congress.
Friday Makama, a notable politician from Kogi East, accompanied by his followers before Governor Maimala Buni tore his PDP membership card to show his loyalty as a prospective APC member. Governor Maimala Buni urged party faithful to take advantage of the party's registration exercise and promised to sustain the efforts of reconciliation.
The mandate given to us as caretaker committee of this party is to reconcile and reposition this party. Well, as a party, we have achieved a lot. We have reconciled so many states, and we are still reconciling, and we are still rebuilding and bringing in more people. I want to assure you the APC will always give you the level field to showcase your potentials.
Meanwhile, materials for the party's registration and revalidation exercise have been distributed to all the 36 states and the FCT. This precedes the trainer workshop held ahead of the exercise.
We're also watching Political Update, and we have here Honorable Abrazak Namdas representing Jade Ganye, Mayo Belwa, and Tongo Federal Constituency of Adamawa State. He is the Chairman, House Committee on the Army. Let's look at your constituency.
Yeah.
Before we came on, we were talking about last year being unprecedented in the sheer havoc in terms of not being able to go out, not being able to walk, and the devastation in some communities, fire breaking out, communal issues and all that. In your case, have you been able to reach out to begin the process of, perhaps rejuvenating, healing societies and giving hope to the youths?
Yes, when you come from Adamawa State, it's obvious that we are among the 3 states in the northeast, Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe, that is hit by the insurgency. So my state is also part, and don't forget, it's not only the insurgency, that we have also kidnapping also. Unfortunately, in my area, it is a little bit, it has improved. I used to have with that serious, in my own constituency, I think we have that security has been beefed so much that I think it has improved to some extent, that the number of killings and kidnappings have gone low. But as Chairman Army, what I did, for example, was that, look, I had to also support the hunters, the local vigilantes. I bought vehicles myself, just in terms of empowerment that you give our individual politicians. So I felt that, look, we need to also empower these hunters, these vigilantes, so that they can give enough vehicles that can also help prosecute this war on terror, so that they can run around. So I think that has been very helpful. And again, if you don't provide people with infrastructure, they can be also frustrating. And it's easy when people come to buy them over the religion. So as representative of the people, fine, we were able to provide a lot of hospital equipment. Most of the areas we stay, my constituency is in the border area and it's almost a village area. So primary health care become key. So people have to trek long distances before they even get health attention. For example, even these maternity clinics are difficult. So I had to concentrate. Just last 2 weeks, I was able to procure a lot of medical equipment worth about 15 million, so that I can share around to the 6 different primary health cares that need it. We don't bring them in the hospital in the town.
But what about personnel? Are they still being
they have personnel,
sometimes we just see building.
No, the problem is that you see building, you don't see drugs, or don't even see equipment. But there they have the personnel. The only thing is that sometimes, this personnel too need to be trained and retrained. This is another story. But first you need to get even the beddings, get the drugs, get the equipment. So we'll be able to do that. Provide water. I have commissioned water, both in many of our communities, over 100 of them have commissioned them. Assuming there are videos you could see. And more importantly, again, the road between Mawebelo and Jada, which in the 8th Assembly, I raised a motion on the floor of the House, and the President graciously approved about 22.7 billion. And that road already, 1/4 of the road has already been completed, and right now they are back to side. We kept pushing so that, because if you don't have this infrastructure, you see criminals take advantage of it and they can be able to create more crisis. That was why even today, when we attended the pull-out ceremony of the former Chief of Army Staff General Tukur Buratai, he was calling on politicians and in fact governors that provide infrastructure, because sometimes even to move from one village to another, you take about 2 hours. Ordinarily, it should have been a 20-something minutes journey. And once people cannot move freely, all these bandits take advantage of it. They get stationed and kidnap people because you can't run. So I think we have been able to do our own part to some extent.
All right, 2021 is here. What are your expectations for the year? Any low-hanging fruits, especially in terms of the sectors that you think are viable enough to help in terms of putting our economy on an even keel?
I think first we should be very serious about our healthcare. We have seen how the healthcare poses a challenge in 2020. Most elites, politicians, and what have you, once even they are feeling headache, they fly to India. Now you cannot fly. You will be here with us. You will have to stay. So let us sit down and make sure that this hospital, our medical equipment arrive, because you can't fly. Your family won't fly. So we must work together. Let's pay attention. Make sure that everything we can go to the next door and get. So this attitude of saying you fly all the time, and we have seen what it costs, and a lot of people are dying on a daily basis. Sometimes you hear one big man that's passed, they still ask what? COVID-19. 20 will come. So these are things that we need to be very, very careful. You have to be healthy. Before you even wake from one stage to start walking, to start even be on television station to talk, you need to be healthy, or else I won't be here. So let's face health first. Let's look at this as a serious business, and then look at how we can improve the life of the president has brought social intervention scheme. We have been approving of 500 billion in the National Assembly. Let it get to the right person. Let it get to the right person. So that we don't be fighting between National Assembly and some politicians in the ministry. What gets to the man is very important.
I even saw some people fighting the National Assembly in one of those clips.
That one is host community. So.
All right, we've had Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas representing Jade Gaye Mayobewa to go federal constituency of Anambra. Many thanks for coming. We can't touch the entire gamut of what we want to talk about, but of course I hope that when we call you again, you oblige us. That has been Political Update for today on the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest and best, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Until when we come your way again, my name is Fisai Ogunfuyi. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.